Hey LinkedIn, I was actually watching we're doing our annual video for the end of the year, season's greeting, Christmas video and things like that, and I was listening to the voiceover and it reminded me, and I thought I'd throw this out there, but you know, for years we've done over 7,000 video projects, and for years I've talked about sort of having a colloquial nature, having a conversational nature in terms of the way we communicate and the way you want to communicate on a video. And one thing, you know, I'll challenge a voiceover artist on is, and this leads to sales as well, so I want to get to that, but you know, I always ask, like, how would you speak to someone if you were in Starbucks? You know, if you bounced into someone, how would you speak to them? And I think that that's important because it should be conversational. The way you speak to people should be conversational, it should be colloquial, it should be sort of authentic and natural. And I think that sometimes if you're recording a voiceover for something, there's the tendency to make it commercial or to start going into that advertising way or manner or a way of speaking it, and it really doesn't translate, because when you think about it, you are dealing with humans, you're dealing with people that are looking for authenticity or whatever, and it really does have an impact on the overall communication. And I noticed that as well in sales. You might have maybe a sort of green sales rep or a new sales rep or whatever, anybody really, but you can fall into the trap of sounding like a salesperson. When you're making calls, you start sounding like a salesperson, and that just doesn't work in my opinion. If you're going to leave a voicemail, make it conversational, or if you're going to have a call, make it conversational, and be authentic and really practice getting rid of that sort of salesy way of speaking. That I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but when people, you know, whether it's in retail or over the phone or whatever, I get the calls too where people, you know, hi Mr. Cornish, and they're speaking a certain way, and I can't even do it, honestly. You know, I'm so rusty on it. I always speak to people in a conversational and authentic way, and I think that really translates, and that really helps in sales. And it's been actually pretty interesting. You know, there's been a lot of negative, obviously, with 2020, but there's also been some positive. One of the positives is I've had the pleasure of having zillions of Zoom calls, and I know some people are probably sick of Zoom, but I think it's actually pretty amazing, and it's allowed you to sort of put a face to the name and have real conversations with people. And I think that it's been a great vehicle, a great tool to get rid of some of that salesiness and be able to just have a very real, authentic conversation with people, which I think is fantastic. But in sales, and certainly if you're doing any creative piece or a video, get rid of that sort of salesy beingness, or get rid of that commercial tonality. Focus on making it sound authentic. Focus on being conversational. Focus on being how you would speak to a friend, how you would speak to someone, because ultimately that translates, and that's included in your email messaging. If you're doing email messaging, write it that way. If you're leaving a voicemail, speak it that way. If you're doing a video, have the voiceover narrate that way. It's very important, because otherwise it's going to turn into white noise. People are going to ignore it, and it's really not going to hit, and you're not going to get a response, or you're not going to get a great response. So something I thought I'd throw out there it came up today in 2 different settings, and I just thought I'd throw it out there. But a little tip for you. Hope you like that one, and we'll have more coming at you soon here. All right, thanks.